for my wrongs, I have just begun. Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy. Huh. Got that purple Lamborghini lurking.
Alright, hello and welcome to the first annual Why Come Japan podcast. I'm here today with my first guest, Akasan from Tokyo. Well,
I guess that's fine. 皆さんこんにちは、Akasan です。よろしくお願いします。
So the title, the genesis of this podcast, Why Come Japan, actually comes from you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did I never explain this to you?
No,
okay.
I did not.
You made a video a little while ago, or not a little while ago, long ass time ago, where it was like the theme, where like you were saying something like, shit gaijins, or no, not shit gaijins.
Yes, yes.
Japanese people say the gaijin people.
Right.
Yeah.
Gaijin being foreigners and such, yeah. Right.
And I remember this key phrase you always used was like, why come Japan?
Right. Why you come Japan? Why come Japan? Why did you come to... Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and it was a very popular... Because the whole thing that spun off of was the shit that white girls say to black girls.
Right.
And that was a really popular thing, so everybody started making them, and so I figured, why not do the one that I'm good at, living in Japan,
right.
The shit that Japanese say to foreigners. And that's just one of the why come to Japan, or why do you come to Japan, is just one of like the 21 questions that Japanese people will always ask you,
right.
Any foreigner, and that's one of the big ones. So, that just was something that I guess stuck with a lot of people.
Well, yeah, it stuck with me because, I don't know, it's always just like one of those questions where it has many answers, you know?
True.
It could be like, it could be taken like philosophly, or it could be taken like just something you want to know. It's like, oh, I just came for the waffles. Or,
Right.
Or something simple like that.
Well, what was your answer then?
What was my ansser for why come Japan? I don't know. I never have like a straight answer.
I usually just tell people I was bored.
Okay.
I was bored, and I wanted to try something new. I wanted to do a different challenge, and that's where I got.
It's not like your favorite anime is Dragon Ball Z, and you really like the episode.
No, because then that goes into a whole nother bag of questions and such that it's like let's not even get into that.
It's like, is this your first time coming out of your room?
Yeah, or something like that. They're just, oh, you like manga? You like anime? Yeah. Oh, sugoi. Like, okay.
Yeah, right.
It's just like, let's keep it simple and like that for them. Give them what the people want to see.
Yeah, right. Let me fix the video feed here. We're also recording this with video, so it's a little high up there. So let me fix that up.
Many cuts here.
Yeah, right. Fuck it.
Go.
Not doing me any justice. I'll just sit up here.
I like it. That's cool. We're good. We got that one too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
We're good. Yeah.
We got Superman here.
Oh my God! I just made him the Man of Fall. Man
right?
of Fall. Wait, no, that movie happened already. So,
Man of Fall. Yeah. So I guess that does beg the question: why come Japan?
Yeah, I was bored basically.
Oh, really?
I wanted to try. That literally is my simplistic answer. Is like, I just wanted to do something different. I wanted like a bit of a challenge,
right?
And I just wanted to do what I felt would take me to that sort of next level. You know, have you ever seen Batman Begins?
Yeah, of course.
So of course, who hasn't, right? Well, the whole idea of where Bruce Wayne was just trying to become more than a man, and he was chasing that rare blue flower. Mm-hmm. There's some simplicity in that, I think, for everybody that has something special maybe inside of them. That's kind of what they're looking for. Everybody's trying to find some sort of point to their life and find that rare blue flower in the Himalayas. And I just felt that maybe coming to Japan would be the next step in the challenge, because what I was doing in LA, this was during the housing crisis, during the Bush era. It was very hard to find work. It was hard to find a nice sort of creative job.
Right.
And so I just felt like at the time, especially where my education was about to graduate, this was kind of the time that I could study abroad. So I took that sort of project.
Yeah, I don't know. We can edit this, of course. This is like a heads up. So I don't know, because I remember, I think we went to the same school.
I think we did Temple.
Yeah, Temple. Yeah. Okay, you're okay with saying this? Or,
no, I don't care. Yeah.
You don't want the Yakuza going through your records, Nah,
it's okay. Whatever. Yeah.
You know it's the internet, so.
Yeah. So I went there, maybe a different year though. So I went right around 2010.
Right.
So and I was in there for a year or so until the earthquake happened.
Oh yeah. 2009. So.
Okay, so you're there. Yeah, but you were way before all of that ever happened.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you were there too, right?
Oh,
so yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. No. I got there. I think I arrived in 2010 though.
2010.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
and then you left around 2010.
Well, I graduated in 2011.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you saw me around. Then,
Yeah.
probably.
You graduated, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of. Yeah.
All right.
Enough. I graduated enough where I didn't finish at Temple.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the kind of annoying thing with the earthquake and everything.
Oh,
so I
I
had
see.
to finish elsewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or just kind of erase or I shouldn't say erase, but that was what was done with Temple. My Temple life, well, we both know the whole idea of the school that we went to.
Yeah.
There's the adjective of being templed.
Right.
So
right.
almost a good amount of everybody gets templed
I
at one
see.
point in time.
Okay,
but
yeah, I completely understand.
there you go.
Yeah, I understand.
Getting templed, but now it's all good and things are moving on.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I guess that also brings me to my second question here. So, so I explained that Why Come Japan is the namesake of the show because you originated it. And, what is it? So, yeah, give us a little background. What about your YouTube channel? I guess. How would you define yourself? Because, I already know what it is. But,
Right.
just for, people who,
Well, essentially it started as just like a way to chronologicalize everything that was going on. Some people tend to use the word time capsule.
Okay.
And that's basically what I started my channel as. It's just some sort of time capsule. And I saw the viral meme that was going on with the shit that white girls say to Japanese girls, or shit that X says to Y.
Oh, okay.
And then I made that video just as some sort of joke, and it got really popular after that, and I started getting a following off of that. And people started looking more and more into my vlogs, and they were like, "Oh man, you live in Japan! I really want to keep putting out videos." So I kept on putting out videos here or there every 2 or 3 years or whatever. And then I started getting really bored again, or stagnant, while I was in Fukuoka. After the earthquake, I moved to Fukuoka for a while, for 4 years, and then I started making videos from there, just vlogging and everyday stuff again.
Oh, okay.
Typhoons. It just was kind of cool. It was a little different than living in Tokyo, where I was like, okay, everybody's, give me a break man, give me a flake man, Unrested, a TKO Sam. Everybody's doing the Tokyo type of thing.
Yeah, right.
Or the big city type of thing, where
yeah.
Fukuoka was like, okay, it's kind of different. And then, after a while, out of the blue, I had a fan group that I was part of that they wanted, I started recording my reactions to trailers.
Oh, okay.
And I sent them to this fan group, but I started using that same YouTube account.
Right.
Just to host the videos, and I started putting it up there, and I started realizing that more people were starting to see them on my YouTube channel, because I wasn't even tagging it or anything. But people were like, hey man, this was really good. Yeah, I'm so psyched for this movie. Also, I can't wait for it to come out. And so from there, the reactions thing started to grow more and more, because I started having this other community. Instead of vlogging, I had this other community start growing from just being fans of movies and the whole hype factor. I'm like, this is pretty damn cool, to see all these people back home and be able to kind of connect with them about a pop culture product, about an upcoming movie, where I was living, Fukuoka, nobody knew anything about the Marvel universe or anything. All the at that time, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to just keep sharing these videos with other fans and talk about things and not get any slack for it. And at that time, it was really cool. So the reactions thing started to blow up, and I started making more and more of them. Started doing TV stuff, and then from there on, it moved on to movie reviews, gameplay, and I guess becoming a full-fledged YouTuber. I suppose.
So just basically what the YouTube zeitgeist wants from you.
I guess so. I suppose so, but I still try to keep that original beginnings, my humble beginnings.
Right,
I still
right.
try to not change and stay humble and remember that core fan group that made me what I am today.
Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah, because I was watching your channel this morning. I'm actually reading notes. Those of you who are watching the video feed, and you're like, where's he looking? Why is he looking? That's
here, put it on your lap. See, that's what.
Yeah, then maybe that's
this is
better.
the radio technique. I used to work on radio a lot, so that's.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was in
know
radio for a very, very long time.
Okay, it's the voice. The voice.
Yeah, I was actually an intern, and I was working like the board operating thing, and that was the whole thing. Is like you pass a comment, you slide, like, or you kind of laugh something off. And while you're laughing it off, you're reading your notes at the bottom like that.
Oh,
and you
really?
come back up and you're like, so I have another question for you. So that's a free tip right there.
Interesting.
There
I
you
learned
go.
something today. Okay. All right, good to know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, did you ever see that Key and Peele sketch?
Which one?
You've seen the one where like they're all radio DJs and they're all like energetic and hyper and they're doing all this great stuff.
And then when the switch goes off, they drop down.
Yeah, they drop down.
Yeah.
Is it like that?
Almost exactly like that.
Okay.
That's how I am. Like,
all right.
When there's kind of an on and off switch basically in this industry, especially with my type of industry. There's this on and off switch, so when the cameras are on, you just want to give your best input, but you can't really be like that 100%, or you just get burnt out 100% all the time. So it's kind of like that, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, I was watching your channel this morning, and I saw that you started this channel like 10 years ago. Is that true?
Yes, I started the channel 10 years, or I started a YouTube account 10 years ago.
Right. But just under the name Akasan.
Correct.
Wow, okay.
I started the YouTube account 10 years ago, but I didn't actually really start posting anything until like 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
I would randomly, what happened was my account got, my MySpace account got
really
banned.
going back.
Yeah.
Okay.
My MySpace account got banned from, I couldn't upload anything to MySpace anymore because I kept on uploading copyrighted stuff to share with people. So I couldn't use that anymore. I'm like, God damn it, what's another one? There was, I think Vimeo wasn't even around at that time.
Yeah.
So people were talking about YouTube. I'm like, I guess. So I signed up there, would upload videos and then link them to my MySpace like that. So it was just some sort of video deposit thing that I kept on using for the longest time.
Okay, so wait, you've like always had red hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always. The red hair thing has been, I started doing the red hair thing in 1999. Actually.
1999?
1999 because it was the Rock is Dead tour with Korn and Rob Zombie.
Oh.
And so, like, at that time,
you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna dye my hair red?
basically, yeah, I had like it was
Alright.
like I had to take time out of school to do it. It was quite wild, but it was a really cool thing. I was able to win this.
It's quite the dedication there.
Well, I was I won this trip to tour around with Korn and Rob Zombie for 1 week, all around California and Oregon and such. And I went to 7 different shows in almost 7 days basically.
Right.
And it was pretty wild to just kind of tour around with them, but I had to get pulled out of school in order to do that and take my finals early and all this other stuff. So
Wait a second. You were touring with somebody? You were touring with Korn?
I was actually touring around with Korn and Rob Zombie. Mainly Korn. It was called it was do you know K-Rock, the radio station?
K-Rock.
Yeah, 106.7 K-Rock.
That was you.
No, that wasn't, but
Alright.
K-Rock had a contest
Okay.
where you could become Korn's freak on a leash. And so I ended up winning that contest.
Alright.
Like, it was a pretty big change, I guess, in my life.
I see.
Yeah. So that's basically the origin of where the red started to come from.
Because me, it's like, Korn was always that music, like, you shouldn't let your parents know that you're listening to this.
Right,
That sort of
right.
thing. Yeah.
And I mean, you know, rock was, at the time, rock was dead, so maybe it still is. Yeah.
Wow. So that was during the tour when you dyed your hair?
Yeah, right around that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had this whole persona of Akasan.
No, actually,
Okay.
the Akasan name didn't even come from there. It
really?
It came years later. It didn't come until like maybe 4 years later when, because my friends used to just call me Red Man. Red Man, or Red
Right.
Man walking, like that. Method Man, Red Man.
Red Man, right,
Like,
yeah.
so the whole idea like that, my friends used to just joke around and call me Red Man, like that.
This is before the hair.
No, after.
After.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
they
okay.
used to call me Red Man, and then we were big fans of WWE, so The Undertaker, Dead Man Walking, so Red Man Walking, so on, so forth. So that was kind of a nickname that was sticking around at that time. When I came to Japan, in order to when I came to Japan, Japanese people were asking me like if I had any sort of nickname, like what people called me, because my actual like birth name was really hard to pronounce for them.
Yeah.
So it always came out really garbled and shit. So
How do you even say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Alright, yeah.
I have to change the katakana all the time.
Aimsiku.
Right. I'm siku, aisaku, like that, right?
Yeah.
So they asked me if I had any sort of nicknames. I was like, well, my friends call me Red Man. And thus, I was like, what's red in Japanese? They're like Aka, so are you saying it'd be Akasan? And they were like, oh, sugei ina, like that.
Okay.
So we went, that's how it was born back in 2003.
Okay.
So 13 years ago.
Of course not Akachan, of course.
No,
right?
of course not. Yeah.
For our listeners out there who don't speak Japanese, Akachan means
baby.
yeah. So
Baby. But I do, it's even funny though, when you Google Akasan, sometimes it still comes up with baby.
Oh, really?
picture. Yeah, on YouTube. It's really weird, yeah.
Huh. I could totally see like a epic rap battles of history, like where they like dissing you and they.
Oh my god! Yeah, somebody would use that, right?
Yeah,
but only Japanese audience would
Yeah, that's
get
true.
it.
That's
the
true.
thing.
That's true.
Ah, good.
It's a good comeback.
Lucky enough,
Yeah.
J-rap sucks. Just kidding.
No, I agree with you. I don't know. Maybe Rip Slime's okay. I don't know.
Dragon Ash.
Dragon Ash.
Orange Range.
They still make stuff.
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah.
We're getting old.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, I don't know. Yeah, here's my age. Okay. So when you made your first reaction video, was it just something where you said, hey, I want to see what my reaction is to something for shits and giggles?
Yeah.
Or was it just something that you saw, like, hey, that's trending, or that's popular, why don't I just do that?
No, it was, if I remember correctly, I think one of the first ones was more of a gag sort of joke type of thing.
Okay.
I believe it was the Thor Dark World trailer. I think so. And, like, I was so hyped about that. Like, so I wanted to go ahead and send that to my friends.
Oh, I see.
Like that. I'm like, oh, because we were getting really hyped about it for some reason. And, like, it was one of the better trailers that was ever made with the music. So I stopped it, rewound it a little bit. I'm like, okay, I gotta send this to my friends on Facebook. And so that was my first one. But I never even thought any further than that. But again, people really started to like those videos, and they're like, god damn, like, well, people really like them. So I was still just using my iPhone at that time. Like, I would just set it up, record it, and at that time it was much easier because all you had to do was just no intro, no outro, no picture-in-picture. I just upload a raw video, and people were cool with that. It was so much easier at that time because trailers are so simple, because it's 2-3 minutes, and the music has a way of reminding you what scenes are being shown. So people never really demanded a picture in a picture type of thing. And it was so much easier back then, at that time, to just record, upload, and it was done.
Right.
Nowadays, because everybody does the picture in a picture thing, it makes it a lot more difficult. It takes 3 times longer to render, upload, and thumbnails, and
So wait, like, if you don't have the picture-in-picture thing, you lose views? Or like, or people don't want to watch you?
Debatable. It's very debatable.
Okay.
I think it also depends on the person, because there's times when I actually have done a reaction where there's no audio and no visuals. It's just me and the microphone. But people also understand because of copyright situations. Like, I will leave audio commentary for an entire movie.
Yeah.
And some people be like, show the whole movie, and people are like, you dumb fuck. You can't, obviously you can't show the whole movie, so people just use that audio track, and people really enjoy it actually. They'll get their YouTube ready with their DVD player and sync it and it plays at the same time, so they're basically hearing audio commentary from me or one of my friends.
Right.
It really depends, but overall, at this point in time, the standard is to have a PIP all the time.
Right.
For most
I guess
things.
that's what the standard is, you know.
Yeah, because it's not, I think if you're not doing it on a daily basis, it's not that hard to do.
Right.
But even as we're speaking right now, I'm like rendering something because it takes like a whole hour to render a 30-minute show.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. I guess the next question. I mean, that's not really a question, just an explanation. So I don't know. Personally, when I first started doing YouTube, like long ass time ago. I mean, I guess the same time as you, because I opened up my YouTube channel in like 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, because YouTube's been around since 2005.
Correct.
And when I started, it was just like a way for me to communicate with my folks back home.
Exactly.
And, like my friends.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think I went with what's his name, Comic Boy X, if you know who that is. Greg, you went to Temple too, but anyway, he introduced me to like all these other people, like Hiko Simon, my Armance, Cruxay, who doesn't really make videos anymore, and they showed me that whole community, right? But I think I stopped like right after the earthquake. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people changed their minds, like, about what they wanted to do with their life right after the earthquake.
There was a just a rethought, like rethinking everything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For everybody, like
yeah.
it was a game changer for everything. Like
Yeah.
I stayed for a few for half a year, but it was a very difficult half a year with
Yeah.
the radiation scares, the blackouts,
Right.
just the aftershocks every 10 minutes, like trying to go to sleep during an earthquake. It was a game changer for lots of people, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, what is it? You know, Maria Ozawa, right? The porn star.
Ah, yes.
Like, she decided, you know, I'm done, I'm not doing porn anymore, I'm going to the Philippines, I'm out.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that's the reason she quit.
People say that's the reason she quit. But
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's like saying, you know, I'm done.
I just saw her recently. Actually, I think it was last night.
Saw her recently?
Not.
Okay,
I wish.
I'm joking.
But I saw her on. I saw her Halloween costume. She was Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was quite. But she does not look like the same person people were dumping buckets to years ago.
Yeah.
Like, she has changed quite a lot. So yeah.
So not time to get out my bucket.
Nah.
Okay.
Maybe a tissue, but
Tissue.
it's not a buckets,
Kleenex.
and it's not. But there have been many more to succeed in where she has left the void, I believe.
Okay.
Not a lot
Yeah.
of halfers, not a lot of hot halfers I've seen though.
Right.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that's true. You don't see many of them.
Not a lot of like half Japanese, like Eurasian girls recently anymore. I wonder why.
I don't know.
That's a whole topic for another day.
For another day. Yeah.
Podcast. Where are all the Hafu porn stars?
Yeah, exactly. Where are they? Damn it! No. Yeah. So I don't know. I was thinking that like I don't know. When I was making videos, I eventually climbed up because I was doing collabs with other people. I mean, like, this is technically a collab, but it helped me reach more people, reach out to more people, and because I originally started out doing YouTube just doing movies because I was interested in film.
Yeah,
so I went to
most
Temple.
people. Yeah.
And I got to this point where I think I stopped doing it because it just seemed like everything was feeling repetitive. You know, like, what was that South Park episode where like they just kept saying, Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it.
Correct, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. The genre has really pushed that, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I think some disillusionment set in for me because I started each video was getting 1,000 views, and then I just sort of stopped. And I don't know.
The views actually stopped, or
No, I know. I stopped.
okay.
I stopped making.
Because that's
videos.
pretty damn impressive. Like
Yeah.
you were getting 1,000 views. What was your sub count?
It was 2,000 or something.
That's
no,
really good.
3,000.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it was pretty good,
That's
right?
really good.
Yeah, it was really
at that
good.
time. But see, also at that time, YouTube was kind of a culture sort of situation. There weren't as many people on YouTube,
It's true.
and it wasn't as saturated as it is now. So to be getting 1,000 people, that was there was a better equal amount. Like there was a 3-1 ratio. Now,
Yeah.
nowadays it's like 100-to-1 ratio type of deal.
Jesus.
Like I'm lucky. I have 114 1,000
14.
subscribers, but I still get excited when I pass the 1K mark. I mean, nowadays I can get that in an hour or so, or maybe in 30 minutes.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Video is fucked up. Need more battery. It's fine. It's fine though. I think it's still going. Yeah, it's still going.
It's still
yeah,
going.
go
Okay. So, I was. It wasn't until like a few months ago or so that I was really just getting the 1K views and such, but I consider every video that gets 1,000 a success. And still at this point, I think that's where maybe my humble beginnings still are there. Like, I'm still psyched when a video gets 1,000, because I'm like, that's 1,000 fucking people that were interested in me just randomly talking this video.
Yeah.
Being out there. If 1,000 people have made it this far,
yeah, right.
into this conversation, I'm like, I'm more than happy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the big difference. Is like the people that started YouTube early on weren't doing it for the monetization thing, but once Google bought it and once monetization was introduced, it definitely changed the way people use YouTube and look at YouTube and view it. It's for better, it's for good, and it's also for bad.
Right. Well, yeah. I remember like when you'd use YouTube and like the video quality was just awful.
Yeah, with a potato, right?
Yeah, it was just terrible. It's like
I remember when 480 was the HD.
Oh,
at the
really?
time. People were calling 480 HD.
It was 480?
480 was HD at that time. Because if you go back to like the Dark Knight trailers, with Heath Ledger, and so that was like, it was like, if you search the Dark Knight in HD, the Dark Knight trailer in HD, now you'll see people comment 2-3 years ago like, the fuck, this isn't HD. They were like, dude, it was back in 2008. Yeah.
I'm starting to feel old.
Yeah.
2008?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Alright, well, I don't know. So anyway, my last video was like before I had the burnout, because I stopped making like 2012, 2013, 2014, and then like 2015 is when I decided I wanted to make videos again. But basically, for like a good 3 years, I didn't make any videos, but my last video was like a video on the Rapture. You remember like that whole like Rapture?
Oh, 2012, right?
Was that 2012?
When the Rapture was coming with the Mayans, right? The prediction, right?
Oh no, I think it was there was like some old guy. Who,
the other one.
Yeah.
There's one like every other year, but the old guy predicting that was going to happen. And, it came out right around the time the Veronica... Is it Veronica Mars of the Friday Girl?
Oh, yeah. Veronica Mars. I think
that's a TV show.
Rebecca Black.
Yeah, Rebecca Black. There you go. Same shit.
Yeah, same thing, right?
Rebecca Black, the Friday video came out, and so because I remember somebody did a really awesome cover of the Rapture. It's Rapture. It's Rapture.
Oh, okay.
No,
I made like a joke video on that. Okay. So that was just like my burning off point. I'm not sure exactly why, but anyway, the point I'm trying to get here is that the topic was not Japan related at all. Okay. You know, and I was looking through your videos and I didn't notice any like 2011 earthquake videos. Did you make any?
I did actually.
Oh, you did? Okay. I guess my Google sucks.
No. I think what it was I wasn't really taking YouTube seriously.
Oh, I see.
In 2012, like I had those videos up there, but I didn't actually do my YouTube seriously until 2014, around 2014. Right. 2013 is when I started I took YouTube seriously maybe about 2014. 2014. But I was uploading more consistently around 2013. So
okay.
And I still kind of take it a little seriously, but at the same time I'm still uploading. I was getting crazy about it, but then as you said, you know, you kind of get caught up in consistently trying to upload and pleasing your fandom. Right. When you look at the side and you look outside your own life and you realize you're spending way too much time into YouTube compared to this beautiful life you've already created for yourself, you know, like you can understand, like it's not easy to actually come to Japan. Yeah. And once you get here, I think a lot of us what do you call those things? Teleports? No, the people that
Pod people?
No, not the pod people, but the people that come over to another place. They're not from
Transplants?
Transplants.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
That's fine.
So a lot of transplants tend to do is we kind of lose sight of our focus or what we originally came out here to try to do or want to do. And we get a little bored or we get caught up in mediocrity and just kind of blah. So, I think that's exactly what happens with sometimes with YouTube is like you'll do it a lot and you're kind of doing it, but then you're just like, damn, what was your best memory last year? Oh, when I uploaded this video, like, and you didn't have time to like go out and literally like smell the flowers or just enjoy your Japan life. So I think there has to be a good healthy balance between the two, and I think that's why a lot of J-vloggers tend to get the best of both worlds because they're still filming stuff for around Japan, but they're still going out there and experiencing Japan. But if you have a type of channel that focuses more on like mass media type of stuff or producing content based on what's going on in America, you're sometimes just stuck all the time. Yeah. Just always here looking at a box, basically. Yeah, right. So I guess in terms, you just have to try to do things that are always going to keep you excited about your own channel. If that means changing everything, you know, then maybe you just need to change everything.
Right. Well, it sounds like the reason why you like doing YouTube is for the stimulation.
It sounds so erotic.
Yeah. No, I mean that's.
You're right. That's exactly it. I mean, I started. Or at least I got more serious about doing YouTube.
I mean, not just YouTube. I mean, like coming to Japan. You said you came here out of boredom.
Right. Yeah, I guess stimulus. Stimulus. Just to try to be. Yeah. If there's an opportunity to do something that you can get an experience that almost no other person can do, then by all means, people should always go for it. Like, right. It's not easy, but you know, in the words of Paul Heyman. And I'm paraphrasing, ECW fan, by the way. Okay. In the words of Paul Heyman, in the words of Big Paul E, you can't be willing to do something big without taking a risk. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid of the risk, but you also have to be able to accept that sometimes it doesn't always work out. And when it doesn't work out, you just get the fuck up, and keep pushing on until you reach that goal. You know, a year ago I was sleeping on floors of people's apartments to like I had no home and
fuck me.
I was living in shitty ass guest homes. So people were living.
This is in Japan.
This was in Japan, because in order to get back to Tokyo, I had to make the ultimate jump and just come back to Tokyo without a job. My visa was going to expire, and I was just living on the floor, and it was really hard. But I knew I never lost sight of my focus of what I wanted to do, and that was to make sure this huge amount of fandom that I have now can ride or die with me, and we're still going to be doing movie reviews, reaction videos, or whatever, but I'm still going to be able to bring more to this channel and bring more entertainment because I still, as I said, I still have that original core fandom that sometimes lives vicariously through me in Japan. You know, in Japan, especially J-vloggers will know this. You have fans that live vicariously through you, and I think it's unfair. It's unfair to yourself as a content creator and to your fandom if you don't try to live that kind of life to the fullest. Right.
Yeah, because I read this book one time that said, us as human beings, we only strive for 3 things in life. And like one of them is stimulus, the other one is like identity, and then like the third one's like financial gain. So
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. You know, especially with the stimulus being whether you're looking for the next high, the next sexual peak, like that. I could see where that comes identity-wise, just being more than what you are right now, or just trying to be. Some people are very much looking for facial sort of recognition and being respected, whatever that may be. And then financial, well, everybody wants to be financially off and such, you know. Yeah, right. It just depends on what your demands are.
Okay, anyway, the reason why I'm bringing up my whole background, Isaac, you know, because I'm not making this a podcast, right? This is a podcast where I talk about myself and not you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm fine.
Anyway, now how this relates to you, Isaac, as YouTube, right? I noticed that some of your best vids are not Japan related, but focus more on like the global conversation of like what the mainstream entertainment is talking about. Do you feel this like sort of disconnect from Japan for like, you know, as a means to make good videos?
Yes and no.
No?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Yes and no. I will say yes in the fact that, unfortunately, I don't spend as much time studying Japanese or being being very, like, I have no personal drive for learning Japanese.
Yeah.
Like, I have a fine job speaking my own language. I'm seeing beautiful women every day as students and such, and working with the entertainment industry. I'm not making this. I'm not putting out this as a way to brag or something, but like just to get into my sort of mind frame. It's like I feel like I have achieved in some form or fashion anything that somebody was trying to do when coming out here. I kind of already have done it, or I've gotten to that point without even needing to really speak very fluent Japanese. It's kind of like just the natural charm or charisma, I guess. Again, not bragging, but just showing my viewpoint on this. So I don't really see like an extra goal. Sometimes I do. Sometimes when I'm with my friend Dante. Dante Carver, very famous SoftBank.
The guy at the Otosan, yeah?
The brother.
Yeah.
And when we go out to parties and I see kind of his level of where he's at, and then I'm like, God damn, so I could be kind of bagging this higher level model chick like that. Sometimes I think, fuck, I gotta really start learning Japanese more and more.
Yeah,
but then
up your game.
I up my game so I can get the higher level type woman. But at the same time, I look around at what I have now. I'm just like, I'm pretty good with what I got right now.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of a disconnect because of the fact that I spend so much time with more of a global audience. 53% of my audience on YouTube is from America.
Right.
25% is from Australia. Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Japan is only racking up 0.9% right now in that. And I have done experiments on back and forth and trying to please the Japanese audience as well.
It's impossible.
Well,
I don't know. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's a situation of the fact that Japan likes things very much differently than my Western audience.
Yeah,
and if I push too much, Dante and I were just having a conversation about this. If I push too much Japanese content, or like I start putting things exclusively in katakana or hiragana, it irks some of my main audience, and they're like, what the fuck is all this oriental shit? I had this issue a while back with K-pop Fridays. Every Friday I would do reactions to K-pop videos, and the K-pop crew is really tight. They appreciate my videos, but I noticed that because it ended on Fridays and I don't do videos on Saturday and Sunday usually because that's relationship time or whatever.
Right. No, I completely understand.
Yeah. The last video on my channel are for the next couple of days would be stuff in Hangul, in English and in Korean, but for some reason I always lost like 5 or 6 subscribers.
Just because it's in Hangul.
Because people would just log in and they, it's the weekend time in America, and they'd be like, oh, what is Akasan up to? And they're like, the fuck are these videos? And or sometimes they feel like they accidentally subscribed to the wrong channel. So what they thought they signed up for or whatever, they just kind of see this stuff in a language they can't read, and they're just like, the fuck is this? Like that.
I can't read this shit.
Yeah, unsubscribe like that. So I've even gotten complaints on Twitter.
All right.
Even though my Twitter is more, if anything, Japanese based, because most of my followers my followers are probably American, but the people I follow on Twitter are Japanese. So I'll retweet things from my Japanese friends, and I'll get complaints about that. They're like, "Can you stop with all this fucking Japanese? It's clogging up my timeline." I'm just like, "What the fuck? Like, is it really that bad?" Like,
Yeah.
so.
If you're making me think, stop it.
Or just, I think it's also the idea of the annoyance of not being able to understand something.
Yeah.
Like the way I look at it, it's like, for example, if I were to suddenly start watching television and I don't know, suddenly the channel switched to Armenian or something like that, or something like I was gonna say Spanish, but I actually watch Spanish channels, so like I have no problem with that. See,
Telemundo or something.
yeah, I have no problem with this because those women are fucking fine. Like it's easy for me to like turn off the language part and just be like, God damn, I still want to fuck this. Like, but it's easy for me to be open to like a global thing, but I can understand on the other side how that works. So I don't know. I'm very much trying to have a very in-between type of
It's
situation.
really hard, isn't it?
It's a hard balance because
Yeah.
even like some of the other videos I do, it's in Japanese or I'll put Japanese subtitles, and it's kind of the middle ground, I suppose.
Right,
so
right.
because there's one of my reactor friends. He was really telling me, he was like, dude, I don't understand why you don't just start making all your videos in Japanese or start reacting to things all in Japanese.
Yeah.
And, you know, because like, he's like, you're sitting on a gold mine. Nobody else is doing it in Japan, reacting to Japanese videos. I'm like, yo, it's a completely different game out here. Like I went through some really bad copyright battles with some fuckers in Osaka hitting me with some copyright strikes, and they don't even own the properties. They're fucking fans. They were fans of the property, and they were hitting me with the copyright strikes, and I'm like, you have nothing to do with this, like that. So it's a whole nother world. But yes, there are points where I feel very detached from Japan. But at the same time, even today I put up a video about Halloween, and people are asking me, I really want to see more of this. Can you go out and film some more things? Because they would vicariously live through me living in Japan. And so given that opportunity, I actually do have a chance. Like companies, sponsors come to me and they're like, look, let me give you a free Wi-Fi and just say our name in your videos and you can get hooked up with this. So there's companies out here that are like, oh shit, okay, he's cool. Like, so it's kind of like a mix between, but there's definitely the language problem is something that bothers me a lot at times. So I do want to actually try to study more, but that also requires me to stop working on my channel as much.
Right, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I guess the big thing, because I tried doing this a couple of times, where I changed the settings on my computer to Japanese, but then sometimes you're like, no, I gotta do real work. I can't do this. You know what I'm saying?
True, because it slows things down so much.
It really does.
I have seen people do that. They change their iPhone or all the settings to Japanese or German or whatever, and it's kind of like, I'm like, dude, I have no time to sit through this. So it's, I envision my whole goal last year was to get to a point where the channel would kind of start to try to run itself. And
just
I thought,
be on like autopilot or something?
or just in a sense where it would be easier. I would have a faster computer. The rendering would be faster. I would just be able to upload things. But it hasn't really gotten to that point. But I have gotten to some point where I put in less videos now, and I'm making more now in terms of monetization, and people are looking more at the quality rather than the quantity. So at that point, I'm happy about that. So.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that is a little weird, because I definitely feel that disconnect myself.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain times like, no, I want to talk about this, or I want to talk about that, but that has nothing to do with Japan. So I'm kind of like wondering, the subscribers who's still on my channel. I went all the way down to, because I had 3,000. I broke through 3,000, and I stopped, and I got down to like 2,600 now. So,
well, I believe for like, and that goes for any content creator out there. I just believe that you have to just be happy with what you're doing. I mean, one of our mutual friends, Unrested, Scott, he's been going through that same sort of situation right now where everything he ever was doing was revolved around Japan.
Yeah.
And there comes a point where like I looked at, and as much as I respect what he was doing years ago, when I saw what he was doing, and even some of my own stuff was very similar to that, just walking and talking about Japan early on, I realized I can't do that forever because I don't have that same excitement talking about Japan and talking about the same thing year after year, zuru 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 zuru, which is Japanese for like so on and so forth, or dilly dally dilly. Anyways.
Learn something today, folks.
Final Fantasy, you haven't, children. I think for any content creator, it's just a matter of just being happy with the content you're putting up.
Right.
And as long as the majority of people are liking it, the likes outweigh the dislikes.
Yeah.
I think overall, you're going to lose some people every once in a while, but the bottom line is you can't please everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So you might as well just make sure you please yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you're interested in just talking about anything, then that's fine, because you also have to remember that there's, the people don't always eat at the same restaurant. People don't always eat the same thing every day. So when they're tuning into a YouTuber, they try to enjoy variety type of stuff. It's actually more interesting to me when my favorite YouTubers, switch it up a bit and they do something off the Kingsley. He does Kingsley's one of my favorite YouTubers, and he was watching The Walking Dead. But that has nothing to do with anything his main channel was kind of focused on. Or Andre, the Black Nerd, just did a straight rant video, and I'm like, dude, this is like the best video you've done in like 2 years. I just like to see when people kind of flip it up just a little bit, because it keeps it entertaining. When things get a little of the same all the time, the same sort of video, there's not much more I can expect. So I personally, as a viewer, tend tune out of that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I don't know. You just
like Ryan Bowens. Yes.
I've never watched the video. All I hear is like negative stuff, so I don't.
Even the negative, you can be shocking, but if you're going to be boring negative, then people are just going to eventually tune out. So.
Yeah. For our viewers at home, Ryan Boundless is a J-vlogger. I think he's in Thailand.
Now he's in Thailand.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, I don't know.
It gets the negativity does get a kind of dull after a while. So.
No, definitely. Unless you're like Donald Trump or something, like you're really good.
But even Donald Trump is entertaining in a negative sense.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He knows, like, he has that whole apprentice angle, so I guess he knows what he's doing. I hope you voted, kids. That's all I can say. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, who is popular on YouTube Japan? Like, would you say something like somebody who's Japanese? I guess there's Hakini. That's the only guy I can think of.
Megwin.
Oh, Megwin.
Megwin.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of the names. I don't remember, but like the guy that does like stunts on YouTube, and YouTube Japan is a very different animal. And
it really is, isn't it?
I have had a good amount of experience now for the last year. The first YouTube party I went to was Halloween, actually, last year. So this was my sort of anniversary last week. And I have dealt with YouTube and YouTube studios in Japan, and I've met with other YouTubers, Japanese YouTubers, and there is like almost little to no cross connection. Like technically Charla in Japan would technically be considered a Japanese YouTuber in some form or fashion, even though she's more of our world. But like with talking with her, it is like she's probably one of the only people, her and Hiko Simon, to like really cross over and work in that Japanese sort of YouTube Japan world. But a Japanese YouTuber is done more like raw stunts and what we're doing right now, and just trying to do kind of like strange things, basically. And what the American audience would nowadays, they fucking call it like cringy. What they would consider cringy is actually the main thing here in Japan. So that's a whole nother thing. Is sometimes cringe is.
I know that. I'm wondering how does cringy have to do with Japan?
Well, what I'm saying is the kind of performance level, the kind of videos that YouTube Japan is putting out. some American audiences would consider cringy because it's like, oh, this is so lame, like that, right?
Example?
For example, like there's one video like this bunch of boys, I'll say young adults,
Okay.
basically, and they're trying to get one girl to be part of their team or whatever. So they're doing this sort of interview sort of style and asking random questions, and it's a lot of awkward pauses.
Oh,
and it's
okay,
a lot
now,
of,
yeah.
like, where you start feeling embarrassed for them.
Okay, yeah,
and then
now I get what you're saying. Okay.
sooner or later they start fondling the girl, or she starts barely taking off her clothes or something like that, or they can see a side boob, and all of them are like doing that. It's very Japanese-ish humor wouldn't like. There's conversations I have had to try to have that same sort of kind of style here, where like I have the couch here, and I've thought about like hiring models or whatever that want to get discovered, so they do kind of like semi-sexual type of things, but at the same time I'm not sure if my audience would be into that sort of thing, or would they consider that pervy or cringy. It's quite interesting how different that works.
Well, it's sort of like now I know what you're talking about. Like sometimes you'd see these Japanese commercials, like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, doing something really bizarre,
or Tommy Lee Jones lifting a vending machine.
You're watching and you're like, what's going on?
That would never like fly in America.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, I guess that's true. There's definitely that disconnect. So it's not just us, I guess.
No. It's a big balance between the two, finding what works really.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, because as it stands right now, we're kind of more of like a close-knit community. I mean, like, we pretty much know everybody. Like
Japanese are
the gaijin ones. The
foreigners that J-vlog, or just do videos like that. I'd say yes. Overall, yes, like that. I tend to just kind of keep to myself most of the time.
Same here.
Like that, but it's interesting.
Yeah. What do you think the benefits are to like making content here, though?
In Japan?
Yeah. I mean, like, does it like, because you used to live in LA, so there must be like some advantage.
Oh, there's a lot of advantages. It's so much easier living in LA, and not to mention being able to see these goddamn movies all the time.
That's a disadvantage.
It's a huge disadvantage living out here. Like Doctor Strange is coming out this weekend in America. That movie is not coming out until next year, January 27th.
Do I want to see that movie?
You probably do.
Okay.
Maybe. But I need to do all these extra sort of loopholes. When I was in Fukuoka, I used to just fly to Korea.
God damn, really?
Yep. Just to be able to see the movies on time.
Japan, what's your problem, man? You got to fix this.
They don't care. They generally don't care, and I think that's another problem why there's such a separation between YouTube Japan and regular YouTube. So our American YouTube.
This is like the third largest economy in the world, right? Is that why? It's like, because I've known, like I think
it's the hype effect. It's the hype effect. It's like they just need more time. When something as unknown as Doctor Strange, it doesn't matter if it's a Marvel movie or not. Japan needs time to like get into it. Like Suicide Squad is actually a very good example of like I was very surprised. Suicide Squad came out a month later, which is actually kind of damn good in Japan. It came out a month later than it's an really American release, but it's advertising, it's sort of the way they kind of pushed it really left something to the imagination of Japan. And like I saw this weekend, or you probably saw as well, there was a Harley Quinn and Joker every goddamn day, every 5 minutes, but it just needed the time to really get pushed out here, basically. So promotional wise, like
promotional wise,
but the advantage of living in Japan.
Yeah, right. What is that?
I will say that if being a YouTube creator, if you're working on projects, like for example, we're recording this right now, but my main audience isn't even up at this moment in time, so I can actually get it to the point where
timing,
where I can have everything ready to go and upload it in time. Now, if this was America, for example, like when I watch my TV shows, I watch them when I first wake up, and then I edit them later in the day, and then it's ready by nighttime, by usually 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock or so. It's kind of late for me, but I'm able to, it's put up. It's still late in some form or fashion, but it's still up. Now, if I were having to do this in America time, I would record at, I watch the TV show 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, then upload, like, start editing, and I would really have to push to try to get that reaction out as soon as possible. So that's a little difficult.
Okay, so just the advantage for you is just time.
Sometimes, it has its advantages and it has its big disadvantages as well. So, I guess the other thing is like what I do like about it is the fact that you are actually in two different cultures like that.
Yeah,
you know, I can have a little bit of the best of both worlds, so to speak. So if I'm kind of tired of what's going on in America, it's like, hey, let me check out what's going on here in Japan, like that. Yeah. I guess there's some of those advantages. The subtitle thing is kind of a pain though. So.
What do you mean the subtitle?
The fact that like for example, I want to see a few Japanese movies that have come out, or Shin Godzilla, things like that. It's impossible to watch them. With English subtitles, so I need to actually wait till they actually come out in America, find some sort of bootleg or something, and then it's so annoying. Like,
I mean, because I went to go see Shin Godzilla without subtitles. You know, my Japanese is okay, I guess you could say.
Could you get through it?
No, the first half of it, absolutely not. It's just like, like, the first half of it is just, should I tell you any of it? I don't know.
No, I watched it all.
Oh, you saw it? Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. Okay, very painfully, but I saw it. Yeah, so I went through the same, like, I was okay the first 10 minutes, but then an hour after that, my brain just cracked because it was just too much Japanese. I went to the bathroom because I couldn't take the just constant talking.
I know.
And, like, no music.
Insane,
It was just so dry, and I was just like, and my girl looked at me, and I was just like, I looked at her, I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? She's like, oh, you don't understand? No, I don't understand. I've been sitting here for a fucking hour, not understanding what they're talking about, these 3 goddamn different divisions. And then
even with subtitles?
No, there were no subtitles.
Oh, I see.
Nothing.
Okay.
I was just sitting there just like, oh my god, this is painful. So,
right, exactly. Okay, no.
Disadvantages, there.
Yeah, because, I mean, what I got from watching the first time, and I'm watching a bunch of videos about it, is just that it's supposed to be like a joke on, I mean, okay, I don't know if this is spoiler.
Structure, right?
Yeah.
The structure of the Japanese system.
Yeah, like sort of a joke on bureaucracy.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
yeah.
And it's just sort of like, is this really what I want to see? I want to see Godzilla. I don't want to see bureaucracy.
I will say, though, that Japan, it worked very well for living in Japan. I actually really enjoyed that movie. As someone who lives in Japan, I love that movie. That movie was great. As a Godzilla movie, I thought it was really good, and Hideaki Anno did a great job. Now, the American side of me thought it was the most boring piece of shit I've ever seen.
Really?
Like, it was just so dry and so boring. And if I didn't actually have some form of background information on the JSDF and all the self-defense force and all of that stuff, I would have been so bored. Like, I would just been like, why are you talking so much? Bring Godzilla out to fuck shit up. So it's very different, like, in that respect. But as someone who lives in Japan, I actually really like that movie.
Okay.
But I can see where the American audience will go, like, what? Like, they actually released that movie in subtitles in America, which I was very surprised about, because I know most Americans generally don't like to read.
Yeah, you were thinking it was going to be dubbed?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be dubbed, like, just to make it more simplistic, but...
Yeah, unless you're like an artsy guy.
Right, if you're an artsy guy, then it's cool, but, like, I know friends that went to see this movie, they're like, the fuck is up with all these words? Like,
I can't read this shit.
They were just like, dude, I came here to watch a movie, not read a book.
Right.
So
I hate that argument. Anyway, I don't know. Let's switch gears.
Okay.
I don't know. So, yes, anyway, the whole thing of this, I mean, we're reaching up the end of the questions here. It's almost at an hour now. So, I mean, I recently got the itch to start making videos again, like after watching a lot of people, mostly people who play video games.
Right.
And like, you know, thanks.
No problem. I know you're looking at
pushing at the low battery screen of my iPhone, folks, if you're wondering why we're talking to each other awkwardly. Yeah, so I recently got the itch again to make videos again, because people play video games, like Markiplier, you know, PewDiePie, those big name people, right? And like, and then like kind of went from them, I got into like game theories and movie analysis and things like that. Kind of gave me the itch to do it again. But but I've been finding it like to be a really big steep learning curve recently. Because like the type of video I watch other people do, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to do that. Like where they do all the animation shit and everything, and it's been like 2 months. And I've been trying to make one video. I'm like, god damn, how did they like do this? How do they pump out a video every week?
Yeah, I mean,
I understand like people who have to like recycle their content. You see this from any like major famous network, any comedian, anybody. They always recycle their shit, So, I guess the question here is that, which often like brings me back to wondering, like, how do you keep up with this? Is there like ways that you keep up with this? Or I mean, I guess because reaction videos are easy, right?
Not that. Well, some people make the reaction videos, or they make easy reaction videos, or they make it seem like it's very easy and such, or they don't put as much work into it. But
but you chop them up and you put the little picture-in-picture, and I imagine that takes the most time.
Every TV show I do takes about 2 hours or 3 hours.
Really? So you've gotten down to a science now.
Generally speaking, nowadays, it really depends on how much I talk and how much of a discussion I have on the show. So that takes some time as well. But the editing is a little a little difficult when I do TV shows. When you're doing regular, like 5-minute clips, even that for me, because I generally give a discussion afterwards, it still takes a long time to crank out something that. But I do have like my own sort of format to follow, and discussion points and like highlights and things like that. But all my other stuff, like my other like life vlogs, like you're saying, because I don't really have like a sort of strategy for each video, it takes much longer. The Death Note BTS that I did took like 7-8 hours to edit, because I had to go through all those different clips, figure out which ones weren't spoilerish, then figure out kind of like the format of what I wanted to do. And it took so long to do that 10-minute video when I could have just cranked out something that would definitely get like 30 times the views. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to sacrifice the integrity of the channel, like what I'm going for. It's not just a reaction channel, it's a variety channel of other things. There are reactions on there. So as a content creator, it's a really driving a fine line of like when to sometimes sort of say no to yourself, to make not do clickbait type material, or to not do stuff that, like you said earlier, you asked me if I did something to bring in the views. That's when it's a certain point where you need to kind of tell yourself, like, don't put this out, because that has a negative impact later in the future. If you're just going to put out videos that are going to grab views, then you're also going to grab an audience that's going to expect that of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you start doing other things, the stuff that you're really excited about, they're going to be like, what the fuck is this? I didn't come here, I didn't subscribe to see this kind of shit. But if you do a healthy balance of both, then people are kind of used to that, basically. Like that. But in terms of that other stuff, I think sometimes you like, and when you get like that kind of block, a creativity block, I think you just need to kind of tell yourself, fuck it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I need to do more of that.
Fuck it. People aren't going to, like, what I realized early on, because it used to take me like 2 or 3 hours to do reactions sometimes.
Oh, really?
Small stuff, because I would do like the small details in terms of like pitching the music right, and syncing things up like that, doing color checking sometimes, and I realized nobody cares about any of that shit. Engineers and editors will really enjoy that stuff, will appreciate that behind the scenes stuff, but the average person looks at it and tunes out like right after it's over. They don't care that you had this 1080 and 60p type production going on. They just wanted to see something, and also in that respect, you have to realize that a good amount of the audience, a good 30-40% of the audience is mobile users. So if something is in 1080 or 60 frames per second, that's actually not so good for the kid who is it's eating up their data plan. Sometimes a higher quality and the way things are shot some people don't appreciate. They prefer the kind of grainy 480 guy in his bedroom making a video type stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I mean, like, the best philosophy I ever heard was from TQ Sam. It's just basically, it's YouTube, fuck it. You know?
I would say the main thing is just focus on timing, getting something out, and that's that. For example, I did do this one video where I was doing a reaction to the Nintendo Switch. And I wanted to try something.
I saw that one.
Yeah, I was trying something different with the eyesight video because I wanted.
Was that with the eyesight?
That was with the eyesight, and I wanted to try to see if I could just put out a video without all the theatrics like that. And it was some of the shittiest quality I've ever seen. Like, it was like I almost took a step back. But I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, that audio was pretty bad.
It was
offense.
No, but I realized it was a learning thing, but I was like, you know what? Whatever, put it out. It's not like I can redo it again.
Yeah,
put it out there, it brings some people in, and I learn from it, and I know what to do next time. But if for example, in your particular situation, if I go back, I'm like, no, we need to redo it again and make sure it's like this. I forgot to plug the Mario game. We got to do it again. You'll never be able to get anything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like that.
Yeah. No.
So it's usually better to, directors and producers and writers are never really satisfied with their final product. Christian Bale was talking about.
That's true.
He always, there was hundreds of things that he wanted more to do with his Batman character, but if he could go back and do it. But mostly creators are never really satisfied with their final product. I'm generally not satisfied with 100% of with the videos that I put out because I always feel like there's so much more I could do, but I think most people would never could tell the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's the way I kind of chalk it up for the most part. I think as long as you can get the main point out there and satisfy people and yourself, I think that's enough gratification.
Yeah, probably.
So better just to put it out there, just so you can really get the drive going also.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's good to get stuff out there.
Just get it out there, yeah.
I guess that brings me to my last question. So YouTube seems to reward quantity over quality, basically what we're talking about here. So
in terms of what?
I don't know. I mean, like
subscribers or views?
All of them. I guess because the more stuff you produce. I mean, I guess that goes with anything though. But, the more stuff you produce, the more people come to your channel, more people notice you. But
Traffic, yeah.
So, I don't know. So I imagine reaction videos are actually a good start, in a way. Would you say that?
I'd say it depends on what you're really trying to do. If you're trying to do commentary like that, what I've noticed is when people start to get they take it personal sometimes. If you're a very happy-go-lucky, easy, no critiquing type of person, then it's kind of easy to just do reaction videos and then it's whatever, right? But then people start to look at you it really depends, but people start to look at you a little lesser after a while, and when you actually try to come with some real shit to say, or you're trying to critique a movie or things like that, people are just like, what the fuck, just shut up, you just look at videos all day.
Yeah.
The same way where gameplay people, well, actually I don't get it as much with but gameplay people, when they finally try to sit down and review a video or talk about what that is, or even PewDiePie still gets this kind of heat sometimes. It's the fuck does when people will come and critique him for being the guy that just screams at video games. What does his opinion about the state of YouTube even matter? Well, actually a good amount, because
well, he's number one.
Well, whatever he does, people follow, and you get copycats from that. So I wouldn't say it's a good place to start. Unless you really have a drive on something else you want to do,
so it's all about the drive.
Yeah, because I think a lot of top YouTubers, a lot of top reactors, or the most popular ones, are gonna have a lot of problems, or they do have a lot of problems getting out of that mold after that, because that's the only thing people will expect from them, to just sit and watch a box all day. But if you start early on and have all this other stuff already, basically a mix of many things, then I think it's a little bit easier for people to accept that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I see it very similar as sort of stand-up comedy. When a comedian trying to get into a movie. Like, like think about it. Like, how many stand-up comedians have really successfully become a movie? Gotten into movies. That's kind of seen as the big thing. Chris Rock, his biggest difficulty is in his own movies. Making most of his movies are pretty bad. When he's a side guy, it's fun. Yeah. But he's never been able to be like have a huge successful movie on his own type of deal. And he's even said so. Like one of the reasons he doesn't really do so well as an actor is he hasn't had a lot of tragedy in his life type of thing. It's an interesting thought there.
I can't think of one Chris Rock movie that I've seen. Like thinking Chris Tucker, I'm like, no, that's a different dude.
He's not. That's been one of the big problems. But he's a phenomenal stand-up comedian.
And he's funny,
right? And people expect that of him. But the transition has been very difficult to find that place. But you know, I sometimes think of reaction videos sometimes as stand-up comedy. It's where you go to get your grounding. Most of the people that started like in my world of reaction, my community, the kind of original reactors, the people that have started as fans, they always were fans, but they were also in the movie industry as well, or doing stuff with movies. So the reaction thing was just a natural extension of just doing commentary. That's the way I've always looked at it for me, of like just live, unprepared, unrehearsed commentary on something, and then you just take it further than that, hosting a game show or hosting a movie show or like Talking Dead type of thing, this kind of world of like being a host. That's the way I've always looked at it. But people will always remember your opinions on if you're like the route I decided to go was to be honest. Like, and I've always, because I knew starting this that I wasn't going to enjoy everything that I'm looking at, and I was going to have some very wild opinions about certain things, but that was my choice. You know, I know that was going to cost me some fans, but those weren't the kind of people I really wanted to have. If they didn't want to look at me as a very objective type of person, if they just thought that they were going to log on and find some sort of like mental masturbation for an opinion that they've already had, then that's probably not the person I really wanted following me, because where I'm taking the channel and what I want to do further in the future, those aren't the people that are going to be able to support that anyways. So
Right. Yeah, because I was talking to Sam about this for a little while, about how, what is it? Lost my train of thought. About, you know, sort of making these videos. I can't remember what I was going to say. But anyway, the point I was just trying to make is that it's often good to have, like, I've been trying to go for, like, evergreen videos. You know what those are? Like, people in Hollywood. In Hollywood, they call, like, some movies evergreen movies. Like movies that'll that'll be around and people will still talk about. You know, like there's like some movies like I don't know what's a movie nobody talks about.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
The answer I will give you though is that YouTube is not the format for that.
Yeah. Probably.
I can't think of any YouTube video that I watch repetitively. Like, oh shit, I watched this 5 years ago, let me show it again. After a few years, it just kind of burns out. After a few months, it burns out like that. It just kind of gets talked about, and that's it. It's really funny to actually go back to some of these top videos on YouTube and look at the view count, and you're like, oh damn, it's actually, I get more views than this video does now. Like, I put out a video now, and I get more views than this viral video at that time. Viral back then is very different than, you know, what viral is now.
Yeah, it's true.
Because also the humor changes as well. So I would say overall YouTube is not the format for that place for like these
evergreen videos
that people are going to go back to over and over again unless they really like you as a personality. And I overall feel that YouTube is a personality based type place, unless you establish yourself as a company early on, and for example like Machinima or the Street Fighter High School, or like you start a series from the beginning, like it's a TV show, nothing more than that. It's written, we produced it, it's just a TV show. That's all this channel is going to be about. But if you're doing something more personality based, people are kind of going to not. They're overall going to expect something a little more low budget, so to speak.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Well, I guess it's YouTube stimulation.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. One more thing I wanted to mention before we wrap everything up here today. A mutual friend of ours, who from Temple actually, probably has like one of the most generic names ever. His name is Mike Smith, big tall guy.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yes.
He's in Albania now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first picture I ever saw of yours was like it was during the earthquake, and you had like all your stuff ready. You had like candles, you had like clothes and everything, and I remember laughing at it because like then you had like a magazine, like a porno magazine. With all of that. If I could find that image,
that would be funny. Yeah, that would be very funny, right?
Do you remember that?
I vaguely
that.
remember that's something that I would probably do though.
Yeah.
I'm prepared, like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have that.
Cute.
Just in case the TV goes down, you gotta have that entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly. Bring the best one, right?
Thanks for that walk down memory lane.
Yeah, right? I don't know. Oh, it feels like yesterday, man. What happened to all that time?
We're getting old.
I know.
Yes.
It's like the third time we've said that in this podcast. But anyway.
Well, there you go.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say before we
that's it, man. You
wrap
guys
things
make
up?
sure you check out his channel
Yeah,
here on the
Bradley.
If you want to see what the very nice audio version of it will sound, this is a very expensive mic he's using. Make sure you check it out.
Yeah, I'll try to upload it somewhere so you guys
Make
can
sure you
download it.
encourage him as well for all you people listening on his channel. Make sure you encourage him. Did that just hurt your ears?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Awesome. Make sure you guys encourage him to step up and put out some videos, even if they're so-so. Once you start, it's like going to the gym. That's really what it is. When you start going, you feel great and sometimes painful, but then when you start regretting and you don't want to go, if you take a day off, then you're like, ah. Then if it's better. You just gotta consistently do it, or you'll get lazy about it. So
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not like that big fat guy you see in the gym, like barely
eating the pizza,
yeah,
like
eating
that.
the pizza.
Like that.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, he did very well by coming here. That's all I would always say.
There you go.
But-
You'll be all right, man. Cool.
All right, folks. We'll see you next time.
All right. Peace.
Peace.